up for the moment. Hello everyone, just give me a second, just going ahead and setting up my space, and then I'll go ahead and talk about what I'm doing today. So yeah, right now I'm just setting up. Just comment if you're interested in identifying what you feel like is blocking you or making you feel stuck or stagnant. And then I can go ahead and identify what exactly is it making you feel stuck or stagnant. So usually the main areas is people sometimes feel like they're not bringing in love, if they're not feeling like they're bringing in money, if they feel like they're unable to identify what their calling is. Usually people call that like opening roads. Usually they'll perform an open roads candle work if they feel like they're unable to find their path, or they feel like things are feeling stuck and stagnant in their lives. They normally will perform an open roads ritual. And the open roads ritual, which involves a candle, is fine, but essentially if you're not identifying what is is creating a energy of resistance, then that candle work is not really going to help you. It's normally energies such as fear, self-doubt, self-sabotage, procrastination. You can perform an open roads ritual all you want, but if you're not identifying that lower energy that's creating that energy resistance, then that candle work is pretty much worthless until you shine light, shine truth on exactly what is stopping you or creating that blockage. Because a lot of us have the ability to manifest and call in our blessings and call in things that are in alignment towards our highest self, but essentially we can manifest and pray all we want, but if our energy is sending fear, self-doubt, then there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do until we remove that energy. So I have that ability to identify that energy, and I have a funny, well, I wouldn't say funny, but I have a story that I would like to tell you that happened to me 7 years ago when I performed my first exorcism. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments. So yeah, I would like to tell the story when I performed my first exorcism 7 years ago. And that's how I was able to that's how I was able to find out I had that ability to identify those lower energies. So 7 years ago, I found out I could pick up a tarot deck and I can read it. I'm just deeply intuitive. It came natural to me. I wanted to help out my family members, and one of the people I helped was my uncle. When I asked my uncle, what does he feel like is holding him back? He said, fear. Sorry. When I tell this story, I get chills. He said fear is what holds him back. So I used my tarot deck to identify, I realized I could talk to spirit. I used my tarot deck and talked to spirit to figure out what spell can I use, because I was young, I was a baby at this. I did not understand what rituals to use, so I pretty much used my intuition to figure out what ritual to use. Went on a forum to see what is the best ritual used to remove fear. And once I got the candle and told him to write down, the fears exactly that's holding him back, and I told him to, recite after me the exact sayings to say, his body started shutting down on him. He said that he just went dark. He doesn't remember what happened, and all I remember is him just staring into space. I did not know what happened. I'm a baby to it. I was like, okay, maybe he just needs a glass of water. So I gave my uncle, a glass of water. He said he didn't want it. His head was dizzy. He wasn't sure what was going on. I did not know he was possessed. Listen, I just thought he just was getting lightheaded. I was like, okay, maybe this spell's working. So I went ahead and went upstairs to help my other, family members, because essentially that's what I wanted to do that day, was to identify what is holding them back. What's the ongoing, generational curse in our family? Is it fear? Is it self-sabotage? When I went back downstairs to help him, my aunt came with me, and he was just shaking. He was just shaking, moving his head back and forth, like, growling a little bit. And it's nothing like it was in the in Hollywood, how we see those horror movies. But essentially, at that moment, I knew that he was possessed. I did not know I had that ability, but it's a God-given gift that was given to me. And at that moment, I just knew, oh, my uncle's possessed. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and recite exactly what I found online, and I'm gonna light this thing on fire. And I'm just going to tell him, listen, recite after me, or listen to me. I'm gonna, look at this flame. I'm gonna set this paper on fire where you wrote down your fear. And as soon as I set it on fire, he woke up. He got outside. I got out of his trance. So that is me giving the quick version, because the long version, I wrote it in a book and everything. I just want to give you guys a quick version because I wanted to essentially let you know that after that happened, I went to South Africa to learn about spirit possession and ancestor possession, and how it's very common. Essentially, my uncle was in, I would say, his mid to early 40s. Usually when you have certain feelings, low vibrational feelings such as fear, I learned like fear, self-sabotage, procrastination, self-doubt. When you have those type of feelings sit with you for years, it does attract lower dimensional beings, or what people call demons, but they're not demons. Essentially, they're just people who passed away with that feeling still on them. When we pass away, we still carry our feelings with us. That's why they say when you're alive, you work on your baggage. If you don't work on your baggage, you do carry that into your other life. And I went and traveled to South Africa to learn about it. And when I learned about that, that's a common thing. It's when you allow that energy to sit for years, I'm talking about years, say like for my uncle from his 20s to his 40s, it does attract those beings, because those beings feel familiar to you. When they died with that feeling, they look and search, they walk around and try to find people who can, who make them feel familiar, make them feel comforted. So with my uncle, in his situation, he still didn't allow me to get near him after that. Like, that scared him. He was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore with you. And I was like, if you let me work on you, I can help you, move past that energy. But because he had it for so long, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of like starting your day with a positive mindset, working on that fear in your mindset to let go of that. And he wouldn't let me touch him anymore because that freaked him out. No one knew I could do that. I didn't know I could do that. But now, 7 years forward, I realize I can identify those energies that plagues people. And I wouldn't say everybody would have an entity on them, because like I said, you have to have that feeling sit on you for like years. So I'm talking years, and then allowing that to like literally stop you from doing anything. Because I know moving forward, when he wants to do anything, like step outside his comfort zone, that fear will tell him, no, don't go towards your dreams. Don't go towards the things that might scare you, but also excite you. And that's why I always stress to work on that when you're younger, so you don't have that, snowball and get into something where you can't even shake off. It will require literally someone with the gift to shake that off of you. So I'm just doing this today just because I have this gift, and I do love exercising it like a muscle. It's something I just do with anybody that, my family, my friends. I've done that. I was able to identify and tell them what they need to do. And honestly, it's very simple. Well, simple to me. I know it's easier said than done, but it really does require change, and it really does require like discipline and consistency of how do you start your day? How is your health routine? How is your morning routine? Are you telling yourself something negative, like you're stupid, you're dumb, you're worthless? Or you're starting your morning with, I'm magnetic, I'm amazing. How are you starting your day? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you pouring into yourself? Essentially, you're doing things to combat that negative self-talk. What is your routines? What is it that you're doing with yourself every day to combat that? And I don't mind. I know I was going to grab it depends on my time, because I did want to grab at least 2 to 3 people to identify what is it that you're trying to bring in. I could start the timer right now. But essentially, what is it that you're trying to bring in? And I can identify what is it that's blocking you. So I do have my number right here, 443-598-7019. So go ahead and text me your first and last name, and let me know what you're trying to bring in. Was it that you feel like where are you feeling stuck or stagnant or feeling difficult to manifest the things you want? For example, when it comes to being in love, finding love, or is it finding money, like receiving money? When it comes to your purpose, you feel like you're stuck and stagnant and things are not moving forward. You feel like finding your purpose is difficult, or identifying your purpose is difficult. And let me know what exactly is hard for you to call in. Those examples are pretty good. If you also want to comment it below, you definitely can. But if you want a little bit of privacy, you can text your first and last name to that number that I have listed there, what exactly you're trying to call into your life. And then I can go ahead and use my bones to identify what exactly is creating that blockage. What exactly is that blockage in your life preventing you from doing so, for calling those certain things into your life. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anybody. These comments go by so fast. I feel like a boomer sometimes when it comes to these messages in lives. It goes by so fast. Let's see. Can I try? Yes, there you go. Yep. Yes, you can definitely try. So if you like to go ahead and text that number, if you want some privacy, your first and last name, and what exactly are you trying to call in that you feel like it's hard to call in, like you're having difficulties. And I can go ahead and identify what exactly is creating that resistance, Cindy. So you can definitely do so. Oh, purpose. So yeah, your purpose. So here's fine. Okay, so yeah, we definitely can communicate here. That's fine. So Cindy. And I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your last name properly. How do you pronounce your last name, Cindy? Yes, South African. No worries. So spirit. I use the initial CM. No worries, Cindy. Okay. So spirit, I know you're with me. My ancestors, Holy Spirit, continue to be with me. I'll go ahead and answer. Spirit, go ahead and let me know. What is Cindy's purpose? Initial CM. Spirit, we're going to go ahead and find her purpose. What exactly is blocking Cindy from finding her purpose? What is the negative entity? What is the energy? Finding her purpose. Spirit, you're aware of what's going on here. What is Cindy's purpose? And what is the energy that's blocking her from finding her purpose? Yeah, okay. I'm definitely going to do another throw. Spirit, go ahead and release. Lower dimensional beings, you have to reveal exactly what you have a hold on, Cindy. You have no choice but to reveal. Go ahead and reveal to me, Spirit. Go ahead and do one more throw. Because one more throw just to confirm, because it's looking like identity and career. Wanting to bring in identity and career is one. Doing what you love. What brings you joy and what brings you happiness. Happiness is more important than anything. So what is the fear behind that? There we go. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh, come on. Declare be the truth. Let's see. Not y'all being shy today. There we go. Okay. All right. Alright, so I don't want to move the camera, but I'll go ahead and let you know exactly what I see here. So this bead, that's how I'm able to locate exactly where that negativity is brewing, what that blockage is in your life from you preventing from seeing what your purpose is. Because when there's that negativity in your life, when you have that sitting in your energy, if spirit or your ancestors are trying to communicate to you, you won't be able to hear them because of you're always focused on that negative self-talk or that negativity that's in your ear telling you to ignore your intuition or ignore your ancestors or your spirits, or the Holy Spirit. So the way it fell, which I have here, is my zodiac wheel, my map, the 6th house. So 6th house is about health and it's about routine. So the first thing that comes to mind is self-care. How are you taking care of yourself? So if you're not taking care of your health, stress, if you're allowing stress to get in the way of wanting to do something for yourself, if your body is too filled with stress and just if you're overworking yourself, you're not going to be able to do anything, you know. And yes, I always have doubts. Yes, you have. So the reason why you're creating doubts into your life is because you're ignoring your body. You're ignoring like if you need to sleep, you're not sleeping. You're telling yourself you can keep pushing through. And that's not okay. You have to listen to your body when you need rest. You need to eat. When it says eat, you have to drink your water. So here it says that you're ignoring your body and your health. That's what it says. That's where that blockage is. Once you start listening to yourself, like for example, getting rest, making sure you eat and drinking water, making sure you're getting up in the morning and essentially like stretching, certain things like that, it seems unhealthy. So actually sleep a lot seems unhealthy. But don't judge. But why does it seem unhealthy? You shouldn't judge yourself. That's definitely like a good example. Like if you feel like if you judge yourself for not sleeping, then that's not, it's like if you're bringing that judgment to your life, that's not good. You always have to listen to your body. Why would you feel like it's unhealthy? Yeah, I spend my whole day sleeping. So let's see. Do you feel like you're overworked? Are you overworking yourself? Is that why you're bringing sleep? Is that why you feel like you're very sleepy? Are you not doing what I'm supposed to do? I spend all day sleeping, not doing what I'm supposed to do. Wait, so sorry, continue. Can you expound on that? Not doing what I'm supposed to do, spend my whole day sleeping. What do you mean by that? Not doing what I'm supposed to do. Basically procrastinating. Okay. So that feeling of procrastination. I have a feeling that feeling of procrastinating stems from giving yourself what you need. So, for example, are you giving yourself nutrients? Because usually if you're always feeling like you're always sleeping, that comes from exhaustion. So are you eating? Are you making sure you're drinking a lot of water? Are you essentially like taking your vitamins? What is it that your body is telling you? Because That's one thing that we have a problem with, was not listening to what our, so I get home and start sleep and end up not doing what I set myself up to do. So I get home and sleep and not doing what I set up to do. Okay. So let's see what else it's saying. Okay. So I do have my coin here that's like represents ancestors. That's in the seventh house. So that's when that seventh house represents balance and harmony. So if you feel, if you're not creating balance and harmony in your life, it's always resulting in an excess. And it says not so eighth house. I have this to follow my eighth house. So that's someone who's always, so I can see where the procrastination does lie there. You're procrastinating. It's partying. It's actually indulging in things that aren't good for you. So to give a good example, that's why I could see why this fell in your sixth house, because sixth house is about someone who's disciplined, who requires discipline and structure in their life. So I could see why physically I feel fine. So just tired. So I know physically you feel fine, but spiritually it's saying that there is just not a balance in your life, because so when this falls into the eighth house, I always see this as someone who just overindulges in things, who's for a good example is like a person who's just doing something in excess. So that can be, for example, excess drinking, excess partying. Eighth houses can be about taboos like sex. So where's the balance? If there's balance, where's the balance and discipline in your life? Because like you said, when you don't listen to what your body needs, I feel that it results in something such as procrastination. So yeah, so that's just an example. Yeah, now I understand, but that's just an example. So whatever you do, been celibate for 2 years. That's good. So that's so that's okay. So that's the excess. Okay, so celibate for 2 years. So that might be the excess. Not saying you have to go out and of course, go out and then go have sex, but usually that's just the excess in either area. So that could be someone who's very celibate, or someone who just overindulges in having sex. So it's just saying, just create a balance in your life, whatever it is. So there's, for example, like that's just for example, but it can also be like someone who's overeating, over drinking. Those are just examples of something there's someone who doesn't have balance in their life. They're trying to look for balance in their life. So usually when people try to look for balance, they do things like that, you know. They're trying to create physical balance by being celibate, or saying, okay, I won't drink, I won't do these things. They're trying to create a physical balance, but spiritual balance is the key. Let's see. So how is your routine? How is your home routine? Because I see here that there's like you're trying to do things to create balance in your life, but essentially, spiritually, on a spiritual realm, it's like, you know, what is your routine every day? Because let's see, for Sagittarius, the ninth house. This is, wow, there's a lot of bones in the ninth house. So if international higher learning, unlocking self, it's like having the own answers within yourself, having the keys to the answers to, let's see, that's change, having goals and aspirations, but feeling like you missed out on goals and aspirations. Not really that spiritual. On the path of finding self-identity, but essentially, yeah, because this is a person that doesn't want to be honest with themselves here. I'm currently full-time mom. Just take my... Yeah, because essentially this is giving the energy of someone who's not honest with themselves. This is because I'm seeing here the energy of a person who essentially, like you said, you made a good point with procrastination, but that's how it manifests. It manifests as procrastination, but essentially, what is the root? Because in order to identify to quit that habit, you have to identify the root, the source. So it manifests as procrastination, but why does procrastination manifest? Why does that come about? And essentially, it says here, from not honoring self. And self, with honoring self, it says here the good way to do that is just to give back to yourself. So if you're giving back to your kids and everybody else and neglecting your own needs, overworking yourself, you're saying stuff like, well, I feel like I have too much sleep and that's not a good thing. But that's essentially your body's response to being overworked and tired. You're not willing to be honest with yourself and what you need, and being okay with that. If you feel like you need and in the way, and the thing about the body is like, if it feels like it's not getting what it needs, it will just go ahead and override itself. So if you feel like, okay, I shouldn't sleep, but your body's going to go ahead and shut down and give yourself what you need, which is sleep, if it feels like it needs it. If it feels like it's craving something, you're trying to achieve a balance in yourself. So it's saying discipline and routine is definitely a discipline and routine, and self-care is definitely important. Yeah. I guess for my many disappointments of trying to be positive. So what do you mean by your disappointments of trying to be positive? Because there's nothing wrong with trying to be positive. So you're from trying to be positive, procrastination. Because let's see here. Spirit, let me go ahead and pull one more. Because I definitely see this as someone who, because you're saying, yes, procrastination is something that definitely is plaguing you. But I truly feel like the remedy of that is from not judging yourself. Not judging yourself and giving yourself exactly what you need. Because this is someone who takes care of somebody else before they take care of themselves. Because I have my calorie show fell into the second house. Second house is of money, bringing wealth, money, and resources in the past. So the feminine bone is definitely sorry, not the feminine bone. The calorie show represents femininity, womanhood, and it had my past bone there. So I wonder if giving up resources to someone who giving up resources to women, giving resources to women in family. Let's see. So worry. If you see that here. So I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Let's see what else comes out from this. So death is also the other card. It says, I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. So I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. So allowing something to end and stop. So I guess essentially stop worrying about things. Stop worrying about your present situation. Allow the past to end. Because this is in the 7th house. So do you feel like you're so whether regardless if you have someone in your life to help you out with the kids or not, if it's family, if it's the children's father, regardless, you always feel like you go at things alone, and you always feel like you worry. Yeah, I worry more than actually doing something. I just closed my business a few months ago and decided not to even do it. Definitely I ended up doing something to work out and decided not to even do it. Definitely. So yeah, because because the energy here, when I see the number 1 and my dice fell on one. One is usually someone who's just by themselves. They're, it could be leader. It could be someone who feels like they're going at things alone. And the fact that you have my coin here that represents the ancestors here, saying let you know that you're never alone. Also, it seems like you're always afraid to ask for help. And if that's getting in the way of things, feeling like you don't want to speak up, ask for help, you're always worrying, that definitely can create that energy, and it could create like a snowball effect. And that starts from there, just worrying, feeling like you're alone, and then it can snowball into procrastination. That's how the energy manifests, as procrastination. So if you're trying to find your purpose, and the first thing that comes is worrying about something, worrying how it happened, doubting yourself. That energy is, has to be let go in order for you to bring good things into. Yeah, I hardly ask. Yeah, because I do see here when the one number one falls into the seventh house, it's someone who feels like they're alone when they're never alone. Someone who's afraid to ask for help. That's just those type of energies can definitely just stifle you and hold you back, and that's not helpful at all. For you to move forward. It does require, and it's interesting because when it comes to the house of goals and aspirations, you have the number five. Five represents change, and you have the coin here that says you feel like you missed out on an opportunity, you missed out on a situation, but you didn't miss anything. That's meant for you is never going to pass you by. But in order to so you say you started a business and ended it. The reason why it didn't go through is because it does require discipline, and it does require consistency, and it all matters with the routine. What is your daily routine? What is it that you're telling yourself? Let's see, because it says, yeah, because it's funny because it says that you're literally on the right track when it comes to following your heart, your goals, and your dreams. Knowing who you are as a person, you already know who you are, but you, like you said, you tend to doubt yourself. I wonder if you also, let's see, I could pull some more cards. Let's see, the shells fall into the fourth house of determination, protection. So having ancestral protection. The truth. Yeah, taking a leap of faith. Yeah, having to take a leap of faith, moving forward, seeing the future forward, and having to move forward. Yeah. Requires healing. So you're someone that has really big dreams, and you're always able to visualize what's in front of you. You're always able to, you have the ability to literally visualize and manifest anything that you want. But the reason why there are blockages is because of that self-doubt, that worry. Also honoring what your body needs and not judging it, saying like things like, well, I don't know why I sleep so much, I feel like that's unhealthy. That negative self-talk does not help. That creates more worry, that creates more procrastination. Yeah, I hardly do, but I get you. But staying positive is hard. So yeah, saying things like, staying positive is hard. Doing things is hard. Yeah, you're very powerful, because it's like when you say things like things are hard, it will be hard. Yeah. Yeah, because I want you to say you're very powerful. When you see something, when you have your heart set on something, you're able to actually visualize it and bring it into the present. So when you say things like things are hard, it so shall be, because you're saying, you're actualizing it, you're bringing it to the forefront. And that's why it's saying that routine is so important for you. So discipline and routine is saying that the reason why things fall apart is because of that sixth house energy of what you need is to have routines, discipline, giving back to yourself, listening to your health, listening to your body, and not judging your body either. So if your body says it needs something, if you want to ask for something, if you need something, you need to straight out and just say and ask and state what you need. It's funny because I definitely have something on my website for free to download where I essentially have a list of, it's like a I am deserving of list. So on the top you write what you're deserving of, and you write out the things that you're deserving of in order to bring in what you want into your life. It's something that a powerful shaman told me that I needed to do to start bringing things into my life, and it's so simple because you could say on your list, I need this much of me time, or I need so and so to watch the kids for a bit while I have some me time, or essentially I need to maybe go out for a walk, or it could be as simple as I want to do this and that, like I want to go dancing. Whatever is that on that list is pretty much you being honest with yourself with what you need, what your soul craves. And it might be silly at first, but the reason why it's silly at first is because you're not, at first you're not honoring yourself or giving yourself what you need. So at the first time, it's going to feel silly. Anything that we're not used to doing is going to feel silly. But after a while, you realize how powerful you feel because you're being honest with yourself. For me, I'm being honest with myself. I have 2 kids, but I'd be like, hey, someone has to watch the kids. My husband, you got to go ahead and watch the kids while I have some me time, because that's something that I need. And also on the list, I say I just want to learn a new language. That's me being honest. That's me actually listening to my inner self. Inner self is your they always say your child self. So what's it called? Your younger self, your child self that you that's always at your essence, at your true essence, at your soul. So what happens normally when you don't listen to a child? It has, they have a tantrum. So when a child has a tantrum, so think about your inner self as your child self. If they have your inner child, if they have a tantrum, listen. You're not giving it what it needs. You're not listening to your soul. You're not listening to your essence. They create a tantrum. It's going to create just these waves of just blockages in your life because you're not giving it what it needs, what your body needs, what your soul needs. So here is just essentially routines, discipline in your body and health. That was here. That was straight like that. That it says that's what you need at your core, is honoring yourself. It's going to create a wave of tantrum, and it's going to just create just a bunch of blockages and resistance because you're not honoring it. You're not listening to it. You're not supposed to judge it. You're not supposed to tell it, things like, well, that's unhealthy. That's not, what is it that you really want? And if you're not, and then I know it's interesting because it's saying that I love the fact that you were like, okay, but I'm not giving myself, you're like, I'm celibate, but I'm not doing anything. And it's interesting because this fell in 8th house. So I love that fell there because it's like saying like, what is it that you're not, what are you depriving yourself sexually? So if you are celibate, are you honoring, just like, are you pleasuring yourself in a way that's non-sexual? Essentially, like, how are you pleasuring yourself? Getting yourself massages, getting your feet done, your hands done. Yeah, I need to stop countering my thoughts. So it's interesting because it's saying here, wanting to, like, craving relaxation and honoring and pleasuring yourself. You require pleasure. And one thing we do as humans is if we feel like stuff like that is taboo, we will literally do something like, as you say, be celibate, or being like, I'm not gonna give myself what I need. Just is as if you're giving yourself a self-punishment. And it's like, that's definitely going to create more of a resistance in your life because you're telling yourself, this is not okay, this is not what you should want. And it's just like, well, how are you going to bring things into your life, such as, more ideas, and how are you going to release the feeling of worry and procrastination if you're not making a space of just peace and relaxation? And I think so, it was mainly because of bad energies that might attract. And that in itself is not a good way of thinking. I don't know why humans do that, but hey, we're human. But that's something that we shouldn't put that out there, feeling that we will attract bad energies, because that's what I see right here, is that you feel like things are taboo. The things that you want, the things that you require, the things that bring pleasure to you, you feel as though it's taboo. And the more you restrict yourself, you create just an energy of restriction in your life. You're like, hey, I don't want these bad energies. I don't want to do these things because it might attract bad energy, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm just create an energy of just constriction. I'm just going to say, no, this is not what I want. This is not what I need. And it's like, it's gonna just create like some type of like, it's gonna not only resistance, but it's like conflicting energies. It's like something that you crave or want, but telling yourself that you don't need. And then if you're creating like confliction in your body, it's gonna just make you feel just so confused, so lost, so just all over the place. So I'm not surprised you're always feeling tired, because just that energy of that back and forth, that internal battle inside is just like, it's like you're just already that energy is already being expelled just doing that. You're going to tire yourself out immensely from doing that. But there's no such thing as bringing bad energies, or maybe I mean cheating partners and bringing in bad energies. So when it comes to cheating partners and bringing bad energies. So when it comes to cheating partners, in order to be able to choose a partner, that is right for you. It truly does start from honoring yourself. So if you feel like you bring in, so that's, oh, so that also comes from trusting your gut and your intuition. Essentially, I always tell people, what is it that you want in your life? Like, what is it that you want in a partner? And it's so simple. What is it that you want your partner? How do you want your partner to treat you? What do you expect for your how? What do you expect for your partner to bring in the relationship? That also can go on your list as well. So you write on the top of your list, I am deserving of a supportive, loving partner. You write out what are the things that you need, and it's strict. It's very strict. As soon as you see that red flag and that person not doing what you want, that's like making you feel like bringing like that energy. Because again, the energy of self doubt, of worry, I feel like that's the trigger. So if anybody around you is bringing, like, highlighting those triggers for you, for example, if a partner around you brings in that feeling of worry or feeling like you're doubting yourself, X that person out immediately. That list should be very strict. You're saying this person should make me happy. This person doesn't make me doubt myself. This person makes me believe in myself. This person does not make me worry. I feel sure. I feel confident. My head feels clear on this person. Strict like that. So when it comes to, and also it's interesting because a lot of people, they will just ignore their intuition, and they will just blame it on, oh, I attract bad and cheating partners. Where it's like, but once you trust yourself, and honor yourself, you won't attract those people, because as soon as that person comes their way, and as soon as you see that first red flag, it's like, they're done. They don't have a chance to even stay that long. He was great as habit cheating is my deal breaker. He knew, but still did it. Yeah. And one thing what people gotta understand, how people treat you has nothing to do with you. That's all about them. And that's really good that you said that was your deal breaker and you left them, because you're letting spirit know, a spirit, listen, when this person cheated on me, I exit them so fast. And spirit's like, okay, let me continue to bring in people who don't cheat. So you've learned that first lesson of like, okay, well, that person cheated and I'm exiting them out. And the spirit was like, okay, you learned that lesson. Let me continue to bring people in. And then you get sharper and sharper and sharper, because, for one, you say your deal breaker is cheating. Next thing you know, you realize, okay, I don't like like this person gaslights me or makes me question myself. It's like you get just so much better. And eventually when that last person comes in, you're like, they just check off all the boxes, because you're doing exactly what you needed to do. You're honoring what's your deal breaker, and you're just not, you're not, you're not going against it. Yep, that's happening now. I see reflect more now, hence I'm single, yeah. But so now you're past that part of like Xing those people out. So now you're saying now I'm sharper, and yes, I'm a lot sharper now, but some say give a personal chance. No, listen to yourself. Because now you're at the part where, okay, you're single. What is it that you're telling yourself? Because a lot of people will say, I'm single because of cheating partners. And it's just like, no, you're not single because of cheating partners. You're single because you're honoring yourself, and you know exactly what you deserve and what you're deserving of. So you're not single because you're not single because you're punishing yourself. You're single because essentially you know exactly what you deserve, and you're going to bring in a more deserving partner. So a lot of people don't know the work that we do while we're single is very important. So, for example, when I was single, I was like, I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to go get massages. I'm going to give myself a bath every Friday night, because this is what I'm deserving of. And anybody that comes into my life now that I'm single will match this energy. And if they don't match this energy or perform higher than what I'm giving myself, then they're gone. But I'm not in that energy while I'm single. I'm not going to be in the energy of, woe is me, I'm single, I'm punishing myself, or I'm feeling like I'm not deserving because everybody cheats. It's like, no, that's not my energy. I don't care what other people do, because that's on them. I don't care what they do. That's on them. If they cheat, if they do these things, that's their energy. My energy is here. This is how I honor and respect myself. I don't care what they did. In this moment here, I'm bringing in an energy of someone who does what I'm doing right now. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking myself out. Yeah, exes always want to come back, which is strange. They're going to want to come back because you're doing exactly what you need to do. You're honoring yourself. But just because they come back doesn't mean anything. Especially if you already saw those red flags, listen, I want people to treat life like an algorithm. When you see something on your TL and it does interest you, what do? You say not interested. Just because life and just because spirit will bring in things into your life, you don't have to say yes to everything. You can simply be like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Keep going. I know that I know I'm a catch. I know I'm attracting. I know I'm attracting like everybody, but it's like not interested. This is my non-negotiable. I'm not, it's like I'm not doing this with y'all. Being strict. And that's what's saying that's what you need to do for yourself. Honor yourself, not judge yourself, and never second guess yourself or self-doubt, because that's what's creating that conflicting energy in yourself. And don't ever deny yourself pleasure. So if that's simply wanting to take yourself out, wanting to go get massages, get your feet done, it's saying that you really truly need to take care of your health. Self-care is important, but also don't deny yourself the good things in life. Let's see. I don't do second chances, and that's good. That's definitely good. I need to do more of that. Yeah, no, because you deserve it. We're creating an energy of I'm deserving of. And you're listening exactly. And it doesn't matter how many times you make that list. You can make that list for I'm deserving of this type of partner. Or I'm deserving of a very peaceful, calming life. Make those two lists and just list out exactly what you need to bring that energy into yourself. And I promise you, once you start honoring what your soul, your inner child needs, things will start moving quickly into your life. Because you're listening to your soul, your inner child. You're no longer judging it. You're no longer doubting it. You're no longer going straight to a place of worry. You're like, listen, my ancestors' spirit will take care of me, because you're already in the energy of like peace and you're high vibrational. You're like, listen, I know everything will work out for me because I'm giving myself what I need. I'm honoring myself. So when I honor myself, I know spirit will see that and start, bringing things into my life that honors me and makes me feel good. And again, it takes consistency and it takes repetition. Repetition is very key. You can't just do it for 3 days. No, this is your mindset now. This is what you do every day. Every day you're honoring that list. You're honoring those things on that list. You're not, as soon as those feelings of like doubt comes in, I say start having like a mantra or positive affirmations to counteract those negative thoughts. Because I do know it starts in the mind. I know for me, I do something that's called EFT tapping, or I used to do transcendental meditation, but essentially now I just do meditation with positive affirmations, because I'm training my mind to think positive at the start of my morning. Like when I wake up, I'm immediately doing EFT tapping or positive affirmations. Because I want to set that energy. That's the tone for the day for me. So you can go ahead and research what exactly you need to do as your routine. But when it comes to honoring your list and the things that you need, that's consistent. You're not deviating from that. You're doing that every single day. Repetition is what I need to get into. Because it said here discipline. Because 6th house is all about repetition and routines. And it's saying that you're just not disciplined. Things fall apart because it happens. You doubt yourself. It's not for you to judge, but essentially for you to be aware of. So now that you're aware of what you need to do, you're like, okay. Tell yourself it's easy, because it is. And I'm feeling sorry for myself when I don't take action. Yeah, so it's like it snowballs. And that's why we were like, let's catch it before it snowballs. So how it snowballs into feeling sorry for yourself and everything. It starts here with that first feeling of like worry or doubt, because I feel like that's the root. So you got to catch it as soon as you have that thought. And so it doesn't snowball into other things. Sorry for yourself, procrastination. You have to catch it at its first thought. And you're not supposed to judge it either. You're supposed to, be like, I love and accept myself. You can say, thank you, body. Thank you, mind, for bringing these feelings of worry and doubt. Thank you for bringing the feelings where, the feelings that I haven't turned my attention to. Like you're talking to like a younger child. You're telling yourself, I'm sorry, where that ever stemmed from. Maybe you heard it in childhood. Um, Maybe it started in childhood where you started worrying or bringing self-doubt, and you're essentially letting your inner child know, like, I still love and accept myself no matter what. So it does start there, having to, forgive yourself, and knowing that essentially, hmm but yeah, of course, definitely. I have my website. I definitely say download that list. I should have an email. Yeah, I definitely have an email there, an emailing list. But definitely, you can follow me on socials here on TikTok and let me know if you need if you have any other questions. But also go on my website to book other services that I do have, because yeah, I definitely need it. So right now, go check it out. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Because I do have other services where I do follow you. Good. Okay. So yeah, I do have my services. Because if you feel like you want me to do a deeper dive, I do offer readings. I do offer candle workings as well. I like to burn a candle for somebody. Once I identify whatever is holding them back, I usually burn a candle. So let me know if you're interested in those services. I do offer that on my website.